grab a bit of water. You're going to thin it down. That was weird. And then all you're going to do is going to take it and put some paint on there. Let out the base brush. Thin it out a bit. And just like how I did it with the rest, cover up everything. Make sure it's thin enough so that it doesn't go and obscure any brush strokes. Multiple thin coats always turn out better than one thick coat. So, what ends up happening is you go and it dries because it's water-based, so it dries pretty quick. Anybody who has some of those certain whites know that they'll dry in the pot. Just to give you an idea of how fast they can dry. Some paints are just more finicky to dry for the Citadel line, but not in this case. Alright, so as we wait for it to dry, you just gotta do a few touch-ups just to make sure that everything's okay. Alright, so it's more or less done, so we're gonna clean off our brush. Make sure to get all of the leftover gray out of it. This goes and improves the longevity of your brushes. I'll be coming with you with a brush care tutorial later on, just so you can learn how to take better care of your brushes. Because at the end of the day, whether it's a $1 brush or a $20 brush, they both cost money, and you want to learn how to keep them both alive as long as possible. So now that the canister's dry, you're going to take your Balthazar Gold, and just like how you did before, with the Aquila on the top of the crates, if you watched that video, you're going to go and brush on your Balthazar Gold onto the Aquila on the container, the skull. Make sure to get in the eye sockets, because otherwise you get this really weird kind of effect where it looks like you forgot to do something. And of course I just nudged over. And last but not least, you're also just gonna give this another layer. Last but not least, you're also gonna want to do the tap. So that's all painted. What you're going to do next is take your Mephiston Red, which almost just went all over the floor, which is upsetting. Put on the palette, water it down. Remember, multiple thin coats is always better than one thick coat. Just going to want to carefully brush along covering up all the gray on the first, well, I guess the middle ring, because it's got 3 little rings in it. For those of you who don't know the kit or haven't seen it yet, or are thinking about buying the kit and wanted to know what it looked like painted up, this is going to be a probably 3 to 4 part series, kind of showing you how to paint up this kit. And then I'm going to do a video at the end, kind of walking you through, you know, some tips and tricks and things I learned by doing this kit. And things to avoid, and, you know, maybe things to try and give you an idea to go beyond, you know, the plain Jane painting ideas that I gave you. Because don't think that this is where it ends. Don't think, you know, oh, I'm going to take Liam's painting scheme. I'm going to use that to paint, and, you know, all of my army. No, I'm doing these tutorial series kind of to show you how to paint the model in a way that I find looks pleasing, but also so that you yourself can learn. You can learn how to paint the model. You can learn, you know, tips and tricks, ways to get better at painting. Something that we can never stop doing, you know, improving. Now, while I wait for this to dry, I'll walk you through the next part. Now it's a barrel. It's not, you don't want your barrels to weather. You don't want them to age, because the second they age, they start to, you know, fall apart, and that's when you start getting stuff spewing out. You want this to be kind of like, it's left there, but it's also got some age to it. So what you're going to do to kind of describe that and show that off is take and use one of the 5 bottles of Reikland Flesh Shade I have. Which one's small? This one. You're going to take your Reikland Flesh Shade, which is a very good paint, well, shade, whatever you want to call it. It's really good. You're going to take that, you're going to use it to add some dirt to this once it dries. Don't try to add dirt to it before it dries, because you're really just going to mess up your paint job more than anything, instead of adding depth to the model. Now, if you wanted to try something else, you could also do a little bit of typhus corrosion, but don't do them together. As much as the texture is nice, it's not really needed, because it's going to be a quick barrel. But, that being said, it's your model. You're more than welcome to do some typhus corrosion on it. You know, maybe throw a little bit around the edges at the bottom or something like that, right? Something to kind of add that level of how nice it looks. So, my dry brush is covered in Mechanicus Standard Gray. So we're going to change that. Kind of clean up. Make it nice and clean-ish. Grab some, shake up the Reikland Flesh Shade. Grab a little bit. That was more than a little bit, but oh well. Got some other models I gotta finish up, so I'll just put it on them. And then all you're gonna do, just kind of along here. Crap. So all you're going to do is just, you know, brush it on. I have the large shade brush, which for anything else is fantastic. In this case, it's not as fantastic, but it still does do the job. Brush the top a little bit. Boom. At the end of the day, it will look approximately as such. And the thing doesn't like to zoom. But it will look approximately like such. Where where it's got that little bit of dirt feeling. It's got that nice pop of red, that nice Aquila skull, and the tap. Anyways, that's it for this video. We're going to go on to the next video in the playlist, which will be the painting of the Munitorum Containers. That one will cover everything from the stages of construction to painting and all the different tidbits. It'll be broken up into a two-part video just due to the sheer amount of detail in that model. Thank you for watching, and please come again and watch the video soon, and I hope that you enjoyed it. I wish you the best. Have a good day.